Hey folks, Jonathan here. Cleaned up on the head a little bit, or the cylinder a little bit on this pocket valve engine, and working on an intake. What I ended up doing was threading inside this hole, and somebody has cut this off before, so it may have been longer. I'm not sure, but anyway, I threaded it, went ahead and took this piece of hydraulic pipe and I threaded the hydraulic tubing, and we've got our 90 we need for our carburetor. And it's kind of small, but our hole's small, and our darn it's about the same size as the hole, but our venturi is really small in these carburetors, so we'll be fine with that. And let me see, did notice another problem that we've got. I didn't want to make one of these, but if I do, then we'll redesign our carburetor completely. But let me show you what I've got going on with our intake cover here. Okay, it may be kind of hard to see. We've got a crack inside of it. I haven't cleaned this part up yet, but we've got a crack inside of it right here that goes a pretty good ways around. But I got to looking on the outside, and it's been brazed or nickel welded, one of the two. Probably brazed, I'm gonna guess, but we won't know until we clean it up. But it does bolt on good, so I'll probably just leave it. The crack, as long as it's sealed up, it's not going to hurt a thing. You know, it depends on the job they've done on the outside. It looks like they've done a pretty good job, so we'll see for sure. But our exhaust valve, we hadn't ground it yet. I didn't know if I'd already done it or not. I, of course, figured out I didn't, so we're going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll show you. Alright, good and straight and good and flat, so we'll get the valve in it and see if we can get the grinding. Okay, you can probably see, let me see, it's hitting a little more on one side than the other, so the valve was a little bit warped, but it's not so much that this won't straighten it out. So, but it's getting there. It ain't going to take a whole lot at all. And you know, we're not running it enough to get it hot or anything like that. It's still cool as can be. So, we'll have it here in just a minute. all that good. Nice and smooth and ready. Alright, now we're going to go to the other end here, to this stone, and this is how you do the ends of the valves. And you know, back when everything was a flathead, or most engines was flatheads, you know, you had to actually adjust your gap sometimes by this, but we're not too worried about that. But anyway, let me get her set up. I had never used this end. Looks like the handle's missing, so we'll find something to stick down in there for a handle. It's not stuck. So your valve just slides through. You push it down with a Allen, and then you just bring it in and, you know, cut the end. So we'll give her a try. Okay, as you can see, there's our exhaust port. The valve seat's pretty good. Don't think we'll have any problems there. What I'm going to do is lap it in. But what I've got, I'll show you. I'll try to show you this. That end's done. I was going to show you that, but holding the camera and operating kind of hard to do. And hopefully we can get this to where maybe you can see it good. I've already stuck it in there and spun it once, and you can see it. But really good surface. That little dark line around it is where I've already stuck it in there and spun it. But we're going to go ahead and lap it in, and we'll hopefully be done with the exhaust side of this thing. Alright. Okay, I'm sure everybody's seen this before, or most of you, lapping valves in. I use this valve lapping tool. I don't even have any of the ones that just go on that you do by hand, but I've actually got a couple of these, and they do the same thing. Try to get you where you can see this. Anyway, when you turn it, it just spins it back and forth. The valve goes right on the end of it. It basically will stick on it. We'll put some valve lapping compound on there, and we'll see. You'll be able to see on the valve, you know, how well it's seating in. All right. Well, there you go. We got it seated in, and it's a really thin seat all the way around, but there's no gaps in it. It looks really good, so it'll work out just fine. And you don't need a real big, you know, just because this is wide, you don't need a real big wide one on your seat. As long as it's sealing's all you need. You know, there's not much of a seat in that thing really, but it's going to work just fine. It's cleaned up. We'll get the valve back on, or the spring and stuff back on this side, and then we'll work on that top side. All right. Okay, folks. I think I had decided I wanted to use the carburetor that Richard sent us instead of that brass one I had. And one of the reasons is, there's a few reasons. One is it matches size-wise with the Venturi I want a little better, and I won't have to make a Venturi for it. I think we can get by just like it is. And second, it's as clean as a pin. I mean, it's very, very little dirt in there. Really good shape. It's got a brass float where the other one's got a cork float. I've had some issues with the floats in them before. They need to be dipped and coated, but I think this is what we're going to use, and we'll stick it back together, and I'll hold it up there and show you what it's going to look like. Okay, folks, got it back together. Here is the repair that's on this thing. Somebody had brazed it. It's not going to cause a problem. They did a good job. I could clean it up a little bit, make it look a little bit better, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm kind of crazy, but I like old repairs. I like to see other people's work, you know, especially from, you know, however many years back. That cylinder is, like I said, 1919, 1920. It does have the 1/2-inch pipe thread plug in it, so it's old, and it's just good to see old stuff like that, you know. Anyway, that's just me. But anyway, I think it's going to work really good. Here's our carburetor from, this is the one from Richard in Kentucky, and as you can see, it's a it's a little bit smaller than the intake tube, which is fine, and we can make a flange for it. We can either run it down low where it's at, or we can raise it up, whatever I decide. We might need that long tube for when we get up around 10,000-12,000 RPMs. That's just a joke, of course. But anyway, we'll figure it out and go from there. But it's coming along. I think next we'll go ahead and drill and put the studs in for the block. I want to go ahead and drill these and tap them, get this plate bolted in. We'll pull the crank out one more time, do the oil dipper on it, and we're going to drill it for the oil drain and the level, and hopefully our cam lobe will be in tomorrow, I'm hoping, but we'll see how that goes. And then we can keep rolling on this thing. It won't take much to get this one together and have it running. So anyway, alright, appreciate everybody watching, and till next time, bye.